welcome. We're going to go through the first part, the last part actually of setting up our plasma cuts. So once you have your cool sign ready to go, and you know that it's the right dimensions, you can see that it fits inside of the 4x15 for this particular assignment or whatever dimensions are given the assignment. You can start setting up your tool paths. So that's the last step that you're going to do before you submit it. So you want to go up to Machine, and then you want to create a tool path. Now in this case, the part that I'm cutting it out of a piece of metal. The part I want to keep is on the inside, so I want to cut around the outside. I want to use a male tool path for this. So I'm going to go up to Machine, and I'm going to go Create Tool Path, and I want to hit Male. Now you'll notice I have a whole list of materials that I've already created and some tool paths that I've already created, but I want to lead you through this process. So let's start and create a first. We need to go in and create a new material for a new thickness. Now I already have a 1/4 inch here, but I'm going to pretend I don't. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say mild steel, and I'm going to do 0.25 inches instead of 1/4 inch. I want to make sure my thickness matches up. And then I have to be really careful about this next click. You might want to hit OK. That's not going to do it. You need to hit Add to add a new material. And that adds a new record. It gives you a little pop-up, and you can see it right here. So make sure that that works when you click on it, that your thickness matches. If you didn't get your thickness right, you can just change it here and then hit Change to update that record. Once you're happy with that, you're going to hit OK. Now I've got my material set up. And then I want to come in here and start changing my settings. So under basic cut, I have a couple settings here. The first thing I want to make sure is I've got the right tool selected. I've got plasma selected. That's probably your only option so far. That's fine. I'm going to come in here and make sure that this is set to climbing and this is set to sharp. Rolling gives you slightly rounded corners. We're not going to mess with that setting. This stuff here, move control, we're not using right now, so you can leave this alone. The only thing you really need to change is over here in the lead out, lead in. Now you may not have this ticked, so you might have to tick the create lead in first to get this to ungray itself. We like to use the line, and I like to use 1/8 of an inch lead ins. That tends to be good for our material. If you find out that that pierce is really big, if we're doing really thick materials, we might need a bigger lead in because that hole is going to be more massive because we got a bigger cutting torch. But I want to put that to 1/8 of an inch, so I can type in here 0.125, and I can set this angle to 45 degrees. Once I'm happy with those settings, I'm going to come over to template, and I'm going to add a new template over here. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to type in new male 1/4 inch mild. You could just go with my 1/4 inch mild if that's okay. I want to come in here and change this color. The default is like red, which is terrible. Let's use a fancy new color. I can select anything from the thing, or I can come into the shop palette and select a color that I think stands out. I like this magenta color here. I'm going to hit OK to accept that. Now remember, just like before, when I added a material, I want to hit Add here, not Change or OK, or all that work I just did is going to get lost. So hit Add. And then once I've added it, I've got the settings correct. I'll double check that everything is correct. Now I'll hit OK, and it will add that magenta toolpath. One of the things that I like to do at this point, just to make sure everything came out right, is to make sure Show Tool Diameter is on. You can also turn off toolpaths. So you'll notice if I don't have toolpaths on, that thing I just created didn't show up. It won't be visible. So just be aware if you did this and you can't see it, just make sure you have Show Toolpaths on in order to visualize that. I'm also going to come over here and I'm going to just go to Toolpaths only because I want to look at this a little bit more closely and make sure that this is ready to cut. First thing, I always come in and look at my details and make sure that all of my corners and edges and things like that look right. I'm actually not crazy about this one. This is kind of weird. I can come in and edit those directly by double clicking on it. I might come in here and delete this weirdness. I'm just not crazy about this. So I got a lot of extra nodes here. I'm going to delete some of these extra nodes and make that a little smoother. Yeah, that looks a lot better to me. That's just me being detail oriented. You don't have to get to that level of detail, but the big thing you need to check is make sure your lead-ins kind of make sense. In this case, my lead-in's a little close here. I'm going to move it out of my way, right? I can select, double click to node edit, and I can move those nodes out of my way. All right, so once I've got that, this is my toolpath. That's all I need to do to get my sign ready. Once I'm happy with my cuts, my sign is ready for submission. I want to go ahead and hit save and get my practice sign ready to go. I'm going to pause my recording right here and answer a few questions, and then get the second part ready to show you. All right, so once you've got that saved, you're going to open up Canvas. You'll come over to the home page and find the assignment for this week. This is our first plasma cut, so I'm going to submit it here. I'll go to Start Assignment to open up this file upload. I'll go to Upload File, and I'll choose that file that I saved on my desktop. That was our practice sign. Make sure it's the .edu file. This .bak is a backup file that doesn't work for anything besides emergencies. So if something terrible happens and your computer gets frozen in the middle of working on something, it kind of works. It's not the best way to submit it. So you want to look for that .edu file and hit OK. Now you've chosen it, you haven't uploaded it yet, so make sure you hit Submit Assignment first. And if you do this correctly, you should get confetti. Waha, you did it. One question that I get a lot is if I need to resubmit it, maybe there's something wrong, or I want to come in and submit the second part, which is my GCO file or my final cut, you can just come in here and hit New Attempt. Everything that you upload is saved. It doesn't get replaced or deleted. So if I wanted to, just in case I was unsure which file to upload, I could also upload a second file. So I'm going to steal somebody else's work and upload that. I'm not suggesting doing that, but you can see from my end, I will be able to see all of the files, all the things that have been submitted. It will be shown here, even if you can't see it. I get to see all your submissions as your instructor. So don't worry if you submit something, it won't get replaced or deleted. Just go ahead and submit all of your files as you create them. That's the gist of it. I'm going to stop the recording right there and answer questions.